Hey, what's up guys, Somebody here. We're back with another one. Is Saleng the player of the season? Are Kaizer Chiefs making the most of these red cards? Mamelodi Sundowns are seriously building. Let's go.
That's how it goes?
They keep asking about the best when they know it's me.
Okay.
Asking about the rest when they know it's me.
Straight in, I guess.
You know it's me.
The weekend kicked off with the original Soweto derby. Now you're sort of asking, didn't we just have a Soweto derby? Well, let me tell you this. Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates is not the original Soweto derby. Swallows and Orlando Pirates is. Why? Because Swallows and Orlando Pirates are the older clubs from Soweto. It started right there. But Bugs, back to winning ways after losing to Kaizer Chiefs, winning 4-1. I mean, they were ruthless within this game. When you look at Orlando Pirates, the game went in the way that they wanted it to go. They got the early goal. You sort of expected Swallows was going to sit back in the same way that they play against Mamelodi Sundowns. But once they get the early goal, it sort of forces Swallows to come out. Now, Swallows have to try and equalize, right? But that's the game that Orlando Pirates wants, because in transition, with the speed that Orlando Pirates have with Dion Horton as well as Saleng, they're going to punish you. And that is what they did. And I have to say, I'm disappointed with Swallows. I'm disappointed in Ernst Mindorp. Why? Because they were open, you know? Like it was like a freeway. Pirates were just running in behind that defense, and they did the damage. The story of the game was definitely Monapule Saleng. What a season that he's having. It's a fabulous season, let's be honest. His numbers are quite insane. Look at these numbers. 18 games, 12 goals, and 4 assists. I mean, this guy is having a say within every single game in terms of the numbers that he's getting. And I saw even on social media, people were saying, is he really having a phenomenal season considering who he has scored against? He hasn't really scored against Kaizer Chiefs within the league. He hasn't scored against Mamelodi Sundowns within the league. So is he not scoring against the bigger sides? I looked at that argument. I thought, okay, but, Haaland hasn't really done well against the top 6 sides in the Premier League. So are we suggesting he's not a great striker because he can't score against Liverpool? Are we suggesting that? Not for me, that's for sure. And now he's gunning for awards, this player. We have to talk about him in the end of the season. It's almost coming to an end. It's in 2 months' time. And I think whether you like him or not, he's definitely going to be in the running. He's definitely going to be a strong contender. But I looked at the PSL awards from last season. I'm looking at what awards that he can potentially win. So on your screen right there, I've put awards that I think he can definitely have a say in it. The first one being the MTN8 last man standing. 3 games, 3 goals scored. I think that's a shoe-in. It's done. It's done. There's no other player that was better than him. Orlando Pirates going on to go win it as well is definitely a plus. DStv Premiership Players Player of the Season. So this is down to whether the players are voting for him or not. And now the final one, Football of the Season. This is going to be all competitions. So they're going to take the Nedbank Cup, they're going to take the DStv Premiership, and they're going to take the MTN8. And I think if he wants to win Football of the Season, to have a strong say within that award, he has to win the Nedbank Cup. I think Orlando Pirates have to. They have to. And what hurts him and his season as well is the fact that there's other players at Sundowns that have similar numbers as he has. But they're going to win the league. They are like 20 points ahead of Orlando Pirates. So they're having phenomenal seasons too. And the person who wins the league is usually where the award goes. So he has to really outdo the others to be considered. But amazing numbers that he's had. And I got to say that if it was not down to him, I think Orlando Pirates would be in a worse position. But Monapule Saleng, at least one award is guaranteed. 2 wins on the bounce for Kaizer Chiefs and as well as Atlas Wane. They went all the way to KZN to face Richards Bay, winning 1-0. I think they caught Richards Bay at the right time, to be honest. I mean, when I see Richards Bay's recent record, just have a look at it. Just look at it. The last 7 games, 0 wins, 2 draws and 5 losses. And in those last 7 games, 0 clean sheets. So this team was not even keeping clean sheets. And even Pizzo at the start of the game was speaking about, Coach Pizzo was speaking about the fact that they needed to keep clean sheets, at least try against Kaizer Chiefs. And I think the wheels are starting to come off for the KZN side. I think they started off really well. People must not forget that they just got recently promoted. you know? So they were trying to get their safety. And now when they got to that 30-point mark, you could just see the legs are just starting to, like the legs are just falling. They're crumbling all over the place. And I have to say this, Kaizer Chiefs started lively. You know, Kaizer Chiefs got the early goal, an assist from Shabalala finally. I think it was his first assist. I think his numbers need to grow, you know. He affects games, but I just want him, in terms of numbers and output, it must grow. Ngezana getting on the head as well. And I have to say, Kaizer Chiefs is transitional play, guys. You know, whenever they win the ball back and they have to counter press, it's really quick. It's really quick, especially with the speed that they have. It's very brilliant to see. But there's something that is going on at Kaizer Chiefs. Richards Bay was the 8th game that they played where their opponent got a red card. Have a look at this. So I've only put in league games. I've not factored in other competitions. They've played 5 games within the league where their opponent has received a red card. And these are the results they got. Richards Bay winning 1-0, great. They won against Orlando Pirates, but it was a mistake. TS Galaxy 0-0. Stellenbosch 3-1, really impressive. Maruma Gallants 1-1. And you look at the difference within those games, the points that they've dropped. They've dropped 4 points. They've dropped 4 points. That's the reality of Kaizer Chiefs at this moment. And if you add those 4 points to it, they're just 1 point behind Supersport United. They are 1 point behind that second place. And they're finding it hard to break down teams. Because even with Richards Bay, there was a point where they were feeling like they could come back into the game. And Kaizer Chiefs looked a little bit nervous. Of course, they had chances. Caleb could have put one away. Sahil could have put one away as well. But they were not dominating a team that has got a red card. And that is a worry because you watch Kaizer Chiefs for the 8th time and you're thinking, how are you not able to dominate games? You know, how are you not able to get all 3 points in each and every single game where the opponent has a red card? And when you look back, going into another competition, if you remember Mazulu, they got a red card. But Kaizer Chiefs were not able to get past them. And guess who played in the final of the MTN 8? It was Orlando Pirates and Amazulu. They could have potentially reached the final and ended their trophy drought. But that didn't happen. So it's something that he needs to work on. That's for sure. Others one needs to work on is it's good to show that the way that they're playing, they're forcing teams to make mistakes. They're forcing teams to get red cards because when you look at the recent red cards, it's the right call. You know, Magula should have not done that for Richards Bay. He should have not done that. So next up is the MTN 8. They face Kaizer Stars at home, and I'm expecting them to progress. That's for sure. But congratulations on the win, Amakosi. An open game in the Winelands. Mamelodi Sundowns going up against Stellenbosch. Game ending 1-1. You know, Stellenbosch stopping the winning run of Mamelodi Sundowns. But their form, guys, it's something that you don't see. You know, you don't see this in the PSL, and they've been breaking records with that form. This is what they have stopped. 16 games, 15 wins, 1 draw, 29 goals scored, and 12 clean sheets. 12 clean sheets in 16 games. I mean, what Rulani is doing so far, you have to give him credit. You know, you have to give him credit. The side is playing. It's staggering, those numbers. You just would have never seen that in the PSL side. As consistent as Sundowns has been over the years, you've just never seen that, those kind of numbers. And what he's doing is remarkable. But what is more amazing for me is, remember, if you could go a few episodes back, after Sekhukhune and Orlando Pirates, I said, if he wins those 2 games, I think the league is done. The league is done because no other team is going to get to 16 league wins. I just don't see it happening. I really do not see it happening. And Sundowns already have 18 league wins. And he can rotate as much as he likes. That's what I said, quotation. Rolani, have you been watching the show? You know, you got to tell me, man. You got to tell me if I'm feeding this team of yours. Because that is exactly what he's been doing. We've seen Peters are getting minutes. You know, the goalkeepers are rotating. Mbule's come in. You know, Rolani's come in. Kulisa's come in. Kapinga's gotten minutes. And Ngobeni as well. He's rotating his side. He's giving others a chance. You know, we're seeing a lot more of the Mamelodi Sundowns side. He's using all 38 players, which is great. And despite even the reports of Sipho Mbule coming out over the weekend that he came to training drunk or he came to training in poor condition, he's trusting his players. I mean, when I saw Mbule come onto the pitch, despite the fact that he conceded that penalty, I was thinking to myself, wow, Rulani really is backing his team, man. Like, despite the reports of what they're saying, I'm still going to play him because the truth of the matter is we don't know if it's true or not. I was not at the training ground when that happened. But when he comes on, I'm starting to think like, I don't think Rulani would play a player who was in poor condition. So now I have to question the reports. Was it legit or not? I don't know. But there's also a new direction that this team is taking too. And it's not something that you would put with Mamelodi Sundowns. You would obviously think of Sundowns buying the best players, buying ready-made. But they're doing something different. They're building for the future. Bleeding in youth. Look at that. Nkosi 18, Buthelezi 19, Karelsa 20, and as well as Mailula 22. Amazing. Amazing. And here's something that is even more, is the fact that those players that I just mentioned come from the development into the first team. And I looked at it and I was like, that's how you do it, man. That's how you do it. When the league is secured already, this is the games you use to bleed in, to bleed them in. Let them play. Let them get minutes. Let other players also get minutes too. These are the games that he's supposed to use it for. CAF is important. I think that's the most important thing. League is done. It's wrapped up. Nedbank Cup, I don't think there's anybody who's going to stop this side. They've already knocked out Maruma Gallants. I don't see them knocking them out. But I have to say, Rulani, what you're doing, man, I'm hoping that even if this side does not go on to win the CAF Champions League, I'm hoping they give him one more season. I really am, because I can see the vision and I'm liking it. And by the way, I'm not even a Sundowns fan, but I see this vision. I'm just like, I like this because there's something here. There's something here. They don't just want to do it for now. They want to dominate the next 10 years. So with all that being said, what he's doing, even if they don't win the CAF Sundowns, please stick with him. Zakele Lepasa, he made the headlines over this weekend, scoring a brace in Supersport United's win over Golden Arrows. I mean, here's something I found even more interesting, is look at this. Orlando Pirates 10 games, 1 goal. Supersport United 3 games, 2 goals. He already has more league goals for Supersport United than Orlando Pirates in less minutes. And he came out. He came out and he spoke and he said, I was the one who forced the move. I wanted to go to Supersport United. I wanted to leave Orlando Pirates because I felt like my time on the pitch was limited. And when you look at the striking options Orlando Pirates has, you could just see that he was not going to be the starter. He was not going to be the number one. He wanted his confidence back. I like that mentality. I really like that mentality. I don't want players to always just sit at clubs purely because the club is Orlando Pirates or it's Kaizer Chiefs or it's Mamelodi Sundowns. Go make your name, bruh. Go make your name. And this football career thing, it goes, man. It goes so quickly. So the fact that he wanted to go to Supersport, he wanted to make a name for himself, already scoring goals as well. Even the celebration that he had was Cristiano Ronaldo, you know? And hoping that he gets that confidence back. For me, that Orlando Pirates chapter, it's done. It's finished. I think that story for me is, I don't see Zakele Lepasa being the man for Orlando Pirates. And not because I don't think he can't be. It's just that they've got way too many striking options at that club for him to get a decent run of 30 league games. And considering the fact that he also came back from a long-term injury. So if I was Zakele Lepasa, what would I do? Actually, I'd keep up my good form at Supersport United. I would force Supersport United to make it a permanent deal. Make it a permanent. And here's the plus side that you have, Lepasa. Bradley Grobler's 35, bro. You know, Gabuza's 36. It's your time, bro. You could be the guy who takes the baton on at Supersport United with a great coach that you've spoken about and his training that he does do on you guys, keeping you guys fit. It's a great start. And keep it going, please. But one last thing. Remember what I said when you made that move. Keep the phone away. Leave social media. Don't read our comments. Nothing. Watch the show, but no. Don't comment on nothing. Don't read the comments on Twitter or anything like that. But keep it going, man. Great season so far. The Nedbank Cup returns this week. The last 16. There's the games. Sundowns already through to the next round, having to win 3-1 over Maruma Gallants. Massive performance. And then we got Dondo Stars against Amazulu on Wednesday. They knocked out Supersport United. Remember them? Friday, Sekhukhune against Cape Town Spurs. It will be interesting to see what Radiopane and Cupido do as well, because they've been in good form within the NFD. Saturday, we also got games there, the KZN Derby, and as well as we got Orlando Pirates going up against Venda Football Association. I expect Orlando Pirates to go through. Sunday, the final day of the last 16, TS Galaxy. What's happening at TS Galaxy? I'm keen to see if the players are going to be motivated, considering that the reports that have come out that they're not getting paid. And the final one, Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, they need to progress. There's no two ways about it. That's for sure. But I'm looking forward to this last 16. It's time for our weekly bet of the week. The purpose of this segment is to show you my bet slip in hopes that it helps yours light and green. The more accurate, the more cash you get. Let's get into it. The Champions League returns this week. In my bet slip, only as Champions League games. Nothing else, just Champions League games. First one, Benfica going up against Club Brugge. I've gone with Benfica win and over 1.5. They've been phenomenal in the Portuguese league. Chelsea going up against Dortmund. Tricky one. I somehow can't get this feeling Chelsea is not going to lose. So I've gone with the double chance, Chelsea win or draw. And then the big one, Bayern against PSG. PSG is going to have to come out attacking because they're behind. I've gone with a Bayern win or PSG win and over 2.5 goals. Last game, Spurs against AC Milan. I think it will be close, but I've gone with over 1.5. I do see 2 goals happening within this game. The odds, 4.36. 500 tends to 2.2K. Those are my selections. That is Bet of the Week, sponsored by Betway. Remember to practice responsible betting at betway.co.za. Until the next one, all the best. We've come to the end of the show, but before I go, a special shout out to the CAF president, Petrus Motsepe, donating over 150 million rand to sports development. What a man. And for you that's watching, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified for future episodes.